A 57-year-old Toronto man appeared in court today in connection with a disturbing incident at one of the city's busiest subway stations. Police believe a man in his 50s or 60s was intentionally pushed in front of an oncoming train yesterday. He was killed. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick is at the courthouse. So, Megan, what's the latest?
Well, the latest, Andrew, is that police have now identified the suspect that they arrested yesterday, John Reszetnik, a 57-year-old man from Toronto. He made a very brief court appearance in the courtroom, in the court behind me, in the building behind me, where his lawyer, he does have a lawyer who was there acting on his behalf, and the Crown and the judge agreed he would remain in custody until his next court appearance on July 17th. He is facing one count of first-degree murder. As you mentioned, police are alleging that he pushed a man into the path of an oncoming train yesterday. He was arrested at the scene, near the scene, shortly after the incident. Police telling us this morning that they had a brief interaction with the suspect at street level, and that brief interaction led to his arrest. They also told us this morning that they have had minor interactions with this suspect in the past, but Andrew, they didn't give us any details on what that meant or what those interactions entailed.
So what's the what is the latest story on the police investigation?
Well, it's focusing both on digging more into the suspect's background, but also on identifying the victim in this incident. When it happened yesterday, they weren't immediately able to identify the man that died as a result from his injuries. He was brought to hospital in Toronto where he died. They believed he was in his 50s or 60s. They provided a description of the man, believing he is of Asian descent, had white hair, white eyebrows, and was wearing blue running shoes and a white baseball cap, but they did not find any identification. So they've been focusing today on trying to identify him. We were told a little while ago they think they do know who he is, and they're now working on notifying next of kin. Meanwhile, they're also continuing their investigation by trying to talk to witnesses who were on that subway platform when this happened around 10 a.m. yesterday. They have interviewed several people so far, but they know from the video that was obtained by the TTC, there were more people that saw what happened. The police want to talk to them. Here's what one of the detectives told us this morning.
We are looking for 7 or 8 witnesses who we believe had some very close, not communication, but some very close interaction or close ties to our accused and our deceased. They would have seen what happened. Based on some utterances and some witness statements that we have, we are appealing to those 7 or 8 individuals to come forward.
They're also saying, Andrew, they understand that what these witnesses saw would have been a traumatic event and very shocking and very disturbing and hard to see and hard to process. And so they're also telling people that victim services are available to help people cope with what they saw. So they're asking people to both reach out for help if they need it, but also to talk to police about what they witnessed.
And Megan, anybody that's taken the Toronto subway recently knows that these platforms, especially around rush hour, are often very packed. There's often not a lot of room to even stand on them. The subways are packed. So how has this affected subway users?
Yeah, that's right. And this happened at one of the busiest stations on the system in Toronto at Bloor and Yonge, where 2 of the lines intersect. It was on the eastbound platform where this happened. Police are saying it wasn't too crowded at the time, Andrew. It was around 10 o'clock, so slightly after the rush hour. But this morning during rush hour, CBC went out and talked to commuters about what they thought about what happened. Here's some of what they told us.
I'm going to be more careful at the platform for sure. I'm going to look around and see who's around me, but apart from that, there's nothing much you can do. But am I scared? I don't know. You gotta do that every day, right? You gotta take the subway. There's no other option, right? So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you gotta deal with it, I guess.
I never go close to the platform.
Yeah.
I'm always careful.
So, of course, a lot of people rely on the subway, on the TTC to get around, as you were hearing in those clips. But some of those people likely a little more cautious today than they would be otherwise. The TTC did put out a statement yesterday, Andrew, trying to assure riders that it is a safe system and that they're reviewing any measures that might be taken to prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future. But they again note this is a very rare incident to have occurred on the TTC system yesterday.
All right, Megan, thank you. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick in Toronto.